You guys, as you know, as you're coming on stage today, and there's 1,000 people in this room screaming their faces off for you, and I think to myself, I feel like I am with rock stars in this room, and I know that we have an audience and a convention here where like you guys and people like Grace and Hannah and are like I am excited to be here and to be around all of you. How much of that comes with you into your daily lives?
How much of?
Like, people, are you approached by people who are like, oh my God, I love you on YouTube?
Yeah, I think we all get that where we go. I definitely have days where I don't look like this, you know, I have no makeup on and I look terrible, and I can go by just fine. But I think you when you grow your audience, everyone, you get viewers from everywhere. So it is kind of that same thing. But I feel like my viewers are so much more respectful to me than I've seen anything to like a traditional celebrity ever get. I don't know if that's how it is for you guys, but I just feel like we're so much more personal with them because we do share our lives.
I heard Hank and John talking about, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this, Hank and John gave a wonderful talk about the difference between audience and community. You guys know what I'm talking about? And I have noticed that as the show that I did on YouTube, Tabletop, started to grow in popularity, and thank you, both of you, and as it sort of started hitting people, and I see that when people come and talk, people approach me because they've seen my videos that I put up on YouTube. It's really comfortable, and it's like we're just approaching each other to talk about things. When someone comes up to me because they watched me on The Big Bang Theory or they watched me on Star Trek, then it can be weird. Because to someone who sees me on YouTube, I'm a human. To someone who sees me in traditional old media, I almost feel like I'm a thing to them. And have you ever had it, or do you have that sort of experience? Yeah, we're from YouTube and we're hanging out and let's do silly things together.
I think the thing is that I can meet people who have watched my videos, and chances are they know more about me than like a lot of people from my hometown do. You know what I mean? So that means something, and yeah, it shows. It 100% shows when you're out and you meet them in the street and stuff like that. And it feels like a very, very genuine connection, because it is a genuine connection. You know, especially like for me, this isn't self-promo, but you can follow me on Twitter if you want. It's Troye Sivan. But if you follow me on Twitter, you know, I tweet. I say that's probably where I share the most, and I tweet when I'm sad, and I tweet when I'm happy, and I tweet when I'm just, you know, eaten, and you know, just stuff like that. So I think, yeah, that pays off over time, because when you finally meet someone, they've kind of experienced a lot with you. So,
right.
Yeah.
You sort of, I can experience the difference between someone who's being genuine, someone who's like legitimately enjoying the videos that they make, or enjoying being silly on Twitter, and then I see these people who are, it's all studied, and there's this effort to sort of like, I feel like it's a marketing bot, that sort of, but it's disguised as a human being. And with all of you guys being successful in your fields, have you been approached by the marketing douchebags who want to like take you to the next level, man? Have any of you experienced that? And how do you shut it down? Because you all seem like people that would sort of like look, would turn away from that and wouldn't let somebody co-opt you in brands, engagement, synergy.
I think it's, I mean, you get a lot of that, and my initial response is want to immediately, let me tell you why you don't know what you're talking about. One, you think that this is a likable approach, but that would not be a good thing to do, because that wouldn't be nice. And when I'm in those situations, I try to remind myself that these people really do believe that this is a great idea, not just because it would make them money, which is true, but also they think it's a good idea. And to, you know, I have to remind myself to listen to these people, and that it's okay for me to disagree and not do what they want to do, but still respect their ideas, and then as a person.
I think a lot of people bring on different, I guess there's like different terms, whether you want to call it a brand deal or a marketing campaign. A lot of companies are coming to YouTubers and the new media concept because that's what's kind of working right now. I mean, you're looking at networks being bought by companies and stuff like that because that's just what's selling. People watch YouTube, not TV. Speaking for myself, I don't know about you guys. But I just feel like they don't really know what they're doing it because neither do we. Just like you said, we don't know how it works because there really hasn't been anyone before us that's done what we're doing. And like there's always trial and error. You just have to be smart and I mean not think of YouTube as money because then it just doesn't really work out.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes?
Are there any parents in the room today? Hi parents, I'm a fan of you. You asked the question earlier about whether or not doing YouTube as a youth, you miss some of the fun of being a child. And you definitely don't miss fun. There is so much fun in excess, an insane amount of fun. For me, looking back as an adult now, what I do realize is that having so much attention on me as a child delayed the realization that the world does not revolve around me. And I remember being told that as a teenager, and I'm like, I know that, Mom. Like, obviously, and I understood it rationally because teenagers are smart. But emotionally, I didn't understand it. And there was a point when I was like 19 or 20, and I was visiting my mom in New York, and I was like so anxious. I was so anxious all the time. I had trouble leaving the house. And my mom was like, you seem like you're kind of like very, very absorbed in worrying about yourself and what people think of you. And I was like, of course I'm worried about myself, Mom. My career revolves on people liking me. And I think back on that now and I think, wow, that's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
And that's a statement that maybe I would not have delayed that reaction if not being in this career. And I think if you are young and on YouTube, it's real important to have a family that is grounding you and that is kindly reminding you that the world doesn't revolve around you and your purpose is not to be served by your audience and reminds you to be a positive role model for the people who are watching you.
Yeah.
Back to the question. What was the first question again? The people approaching you.
Yeah.
Like Rebecca said, like we're minors and like they just try to take advantage of us as much as possible. But and then like Tessa said, my parents are grounding me. Like they're making sure they're reading the business emails, making sure we're not getting screwed over by people. And I mean, people are saying, take you to the next level, and all this, BS, and it's good to have a family that supports me and takes me to places like Vidcon and travels with me, and yeah, it's great to keep grounded.
I think even further than that, I'd be really, really interested to have this panel in like 2 or 3 years. Because, again, no one knows what's happening at the moment. And this is the first time that any of this has happened. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think for every YouTuber, this is so personal. Like you were saying, like, because our entire lives revolve around what other people think of us, that is such a dangerous place to be in as a young person. Because as soon as people start getting bored of your videos, which is bound to happen at some point, and your view counts start going down, and you maybe don't get a line at VidCon or whatever it is for your meet and greet, that's personal. You know what I mean? Like, sure. Because this is you that you're putting out on the internet. So, like, right now, sure, we're all enjoying it, but I'm very, very interested to see what's going to happen in the future. And, like, I think it's important that everyone, before you start on YouTube, you need to be completely, like, secure in yourself and know the reasons why you're doing this and know that your worth as a human is not based on your view counts and things like that. I think it's important.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is something that it took me a very, very long time to figure out, because for me being a child as an actor and having that experience of the world revolving around me, it warps a young person's sense of reality. And I think it's why you see so many of the people that are former child actors that are embarrassing themselves on reality TV all the time, because at least somebody's paying attention to them.
That is so sad and so true. I mean, I think every youth struggles with figuring out what they're worth and where their worth comes from. And even in school, if you're not doing YouTube, it feels like you're worth more if you're popular, and you're worth less if people don't like you. And it takes really going through being an adolescent to kind of come to knowing that your worth is not based in what you do and who you talk to, but you have worth simply because you are human and you were born. And being in the spotlight as an adolescent makes that a lot harder to come to. Did for me anyway.
Yeah, it did for me too.
Am I the only person who could like cry right now?
I know, I'm like, I'm crying.
If we put this panel back together in 2 or 3 years, would you want to come and see that? All right, we'll picture together.